What's up everyone, welcome back to the top 7 tips for the new Rise of Kingdoms player video part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, it introduces some of the best starts that a player can have. So please check it out as this video builds upon that foundation. The goal of this video is to give our new players an updated list of tips and goals to achieve in 2020. If you like this video and want to support more quality content, please smash that like button till it turns blue and sub for the YouTube algorithm. Farming tiles. As you're playing the game, you may notice that your units have different troop loads, move speeds, and other statistics tied to the specific units. When farming tiles, use tier 1 siege units. You should have an army of tier 1 siege units enough to farm as many march queues as you can have. The reason to use tier 1 siege is because they move faster than all the other siege units. Tier 1 units also take a total of 3 seconds to heal, no matter the injured amount. And it also denies heavy points for other players in the kill event. A lot of tier 1 siege can outpace cavalry at specific points of the game when the siege is on allied territory. You will notice this a lot in kill events if you participate. Farm on allied territory as much as possible, as this gives a bonus to the alliance's resources, allowing more flag builds and more tech upgrades sooner. Don't farm in kill event. Only farm gems or very low level tiles that you can complete quickly, or send partial T1 siege marches that will come back every 10 to 15 minutes. City Hall placement. During peacetime, place your city hall at the edge of your territories to allow resource points to spawn inside the territory. If everyone in the alliance does this, the bonus becomes extremely important for the growth of the alliance. During wartime, it is extremely important to fill up as much of the alliance territory space as possible and deny the enemy from taking these spaces with their armies. The advantages of being able to hop your army from base to base and attack on your terms and alliance buffs will make enemies with even a significant upgrade advantage to be much more careful in their attacks or suffer heavy injuries. This is due to the advantage that a march has attacking a moving march that is out of battle. The out of battle march taking hits will not build rage bar unless they engage in an attack before moving. This gives the base hopper first cast advantage as well. Spending alliance credits. Alliance credits can be gathered in many ways, such as the help button, helping your alliance build, Arc of Osiris, and other events. How to spend your alliance credits wisely is a great way to give yourself a long-term boost. Every player should always have at least one of each teleport in their inventory at all times that should never be used unless you will be zeroed if you do not use it. Every player should carry some shields for offline during wartime, or a teleport that will bring them back to safety during sleep. Most of the time, your alliance credits will be spent on territorial teleports. Unless you are an extremely strong player looking to hunt in Kingdom vs Kingdom, then you will end up buying some random teleports here and there, but most of the time, these will be towards territorials. VIP points is not really worth it, but it is worth it if you are free to play and it means that you will level your VIP level. But don't overdo it. Teleports is still the #1 priority. You can name change here without spending gems. Talent resets are important as well for all players. The VIP shop. You should buy all of the items that can be bought with resources. And depending on your spending habits, the 8-hour or 24-hour speed ups depending on your VIP level. Targeted teleports can be purchased here for kill event purposes. AP spending. Characters that are not peacekeepers have to spend 50 to hit a barbarian and 150 on a fort. A peacekeeper with the correct talents will spend 40 and 140. These numbers can be lowered to 30 and 130 if you barbarian chain. To lower the AP cost per attack, kill barbarians with your peacekeepers without going back to base. This will lower your AP spending by 2 per barbarian, capped at 10 maximum reduction. How do we barbarian chain efficiently? There are a couple of ways to do this for new players. However, everybody has the same first step, and that is to max Lohar's skills. Lohar is the single best barbarian killer that can grant your partner a substantial amount of experience per kill. Lohar also has multiple heals to be able to stay on the field for longer periods of time. If you decide to hunt barbarians with multiple armies, having Lohar initiate the attack so that he takes most of the damage is a good idea. What are some highly efficient pairings for Lohar for slaying these barbs? If you are actively playing at the time, you can pair Lohar with any commander with an area of attack such as Sun Tzu and initiate an attack on the barbarian, and then you move yourself so that your area attack hits a second barbarian and continue chaining if more are nearby. Make sure you do not directly command an attack on the second or third barbarians. Once the first barbarian dies, Sun Tzu will engage the second one automatically without spending action points. If you are AFK barbing, I suggest pairing with Pelagius, Boudica, or Joan. Double heals will make Lohar almost unkillable, making this a great target and forget type of barbarian hunting. A good way to level some useful fighters early on is to let Lohar level Boudica a little bit, and then use Lohar to tag Joan and Boudica to tag Pelagius, for example. This will give you two armies that are pretty much barbarian proof and can go on a brainless barbarian hunt and stay out for a long time, while you have your other queues farming or joining rallies, or while you're watching a movie, while you're doing your work, etc. If you have Minamoto and Cao Cao, they're definitely one of the best barb slayers around as well. Cao Cao has the heal and sustain to go double heal as well for endless barbing. Saving legendary commander sculptures. Gold heads. Gold heads is what this game is all about. This is the resource that every player wants to go after. This is why in the first video we talked about how to use your gems effectively to try to get VIP 10 as soon as possible to get the gold heads rolling in. You will need 700 to max a legendary commander. You can spend an endless amount of money to build troops, but you cannot instantly max out a legendary commander. These guys are long-term goals that you save for a long time to max. It is beneficial to max out a new commander that just gets released, especially if it has a date restriction. The power gap is usually very significant. This is why VIP 14 is the goal of every single player. It is totally doable for free-to-play. It will eat up a lot of your time, but as a free-to-play player, you're basically trading your time for money. Participate in every Arc of Osiris and hit 10,000 score to receive an additional 5 or 10 sculptures every 2 weeks, depending on if you win or lose. Usually, between the end of one Kingdom vs Kingdom to the end of the next Kingdom vs Kingdom, a strong account can usually max 2 to 3 legendary commanders, depending on the interest in the Mightiest Governor events. VIP 14 free-to-plays with a year plus accounts can also max one pretty easily every Kingdom vs Kingdom if they're active enough. And if they start making placements, then they can max a little bit more. Do not spend these sculptures without purpose. This is going to be your first and most important long-term goal. You will choose a commander that is extremely useful in every aspect of the game. You will do this so that in the future, you can be rolling in your money and be a valued player in your kingdom. Choosing the right path. YSG. How do we spend our gold heads then? I have 3 solutions, depending on your spending habits in Rise of Kingdoms. Note that every single one of these options, you must be an active player. If you're not an active player, this game is not the right game for you, and you should not waste your valuable time on this game. Number 1, you're a whale and you're really active in kill events. So you will have a maxed Minamoto running around already. Your only true enemy is the other whale in the other alliance with a maxed Minamoto working on Cao Cao. If you want to win the Lost Temple War, save for the Richard Wheel. Charles and Richard should both be available when you get to the Lost Temple. Richard or Sun Tzu, or Charles and Richard will single-handedly win you the Lost Temple because all the enemy has are cavalry. Number 2. The Recharge event player, active in KE. So your Minamoto is maxed, so Cao Cao is not a bad idea if you really love kill events, but he will fall off in heads-up battles. His role will become a farmer hitter or used for army cutoff later on, which in fact are still some of the best point gains in kill events. Richard is a good choice, but you probably cannot instantly max him before the Lost Temple. So saving for Yi Seong-ye is probably the best choice, and we will explain why. Number 3. You're a recharge 2-day player, or you're a free-to-play or a low spender. What matters is that you're active. Well, whether you have maxed out Minamoto or not, just save up for YSG. The reasoning behind YSG being the right choice for 95% of the players is because once YSG is maxed, he can easily use 30 AP to hit 3 barbarians with minimum kiting, and if you really tried, he can chain 20 barbarians with 30 AP. If you pay attention to the barbarians loot, there's the 1-minute speed up version, and then there's the 5-minute speed up version. In Kingdom vs Kingdom, a single YSG barbarian chain can net you hours of speed ups, all for 30 AP. Any person with half a brain can tell you that YSG is the single best investment in Rise of Kingdoms, and he will help you win events in the future the earlier you can get him because of his ability to generate these speed ups at such a discount. He can defend buildings, he's great in Ark of Osiris in any part of the map. You also have a naturally maxed out legendary commander to pair with him in Aethelflaed. If there's a single thing that you should do, it is to save for YSG. He will lead you to more and more commanders and event placements. You will also have a fun time learning micro skills, keeping him alive and doing some nice AoE damage. On a side note, Richard in KVK is the king of chaining with YSG for barbarians, because Lohar cannot outheal the KVK barbarians. This is a really strong selling point for Richard if you are into farming barbarians during KVK. Wheel of Fortune versus the VIP. When Cao Cao, Richard, and YSG wheels appear, if you are someone that buys the gold head pack every time you unlock a legendary commander, by all means go for the 10 spins. Every wheel comes back 3 times before becoming a universal wheel. Cao Cao is an exception at the early days of a new kingdom. If you have only a limited amount of gems, and you have to decide on spinning a wheel or going for VIP, go for the VIP. The quicker you get to VIP 14, the stronger you will be snowballing down the road. When I'm talking about snowballing down the road, what I mean is that you can collect 3 sculptures daily and at the same time in Kingdom vs Kingdom, farm enough gems to 100 spin a hero 3 times of your choice. If you are a whale, well, you already max spin all your wheels and this is not an issue to you. If you're a free to play or a low spender, you will need to do some long-term planning and going for a VIP and maybe just unlock YSG. This will be all that you should go for, and you save your gems for VIP. And this concludes part 2 of our top 7 series. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and leave a comment below. Smash that like button to show your support, and see y'all next time.